6:46 the time right now as we do get to continuing coverage in that battle for power that we've talked about after the Attorney General's letter threatening to remove some elected officials for office. All of this linked to the controversy surrounding the clerk of court position. Got District Attorney Jason Williams in this morning to talk about this. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
I want to start with your initial response to the Attorney General's letter to you and several other city council people and Mayor Helena Moreno. Here is your letter here. You did a close read of it. You wrote in reply in your conclusion here, the suggestion that the chief legal officer of this state would threaten removal from office against the mayor, members of the city council, or other public officials, and here's key here, for adhering to their understanding of the law raises serious questions about the appropriate use of prosecutorial and constitutional authority. How so?
It's an abuse of power. The city council, city leaders are only relying on Article 6, section of the Constitution, which requires that the voters of New Orleans get a say about who leads them. They are following the law. And so if the AG has a different interpretation, that should be settled in court. This is not Game of Thrones. We settle matters in court. Judges will decide whose interpretation is correct. But she's chosen to drudge up a relic from Reconstruction to unseat leadership in a parish because she does not like their interpretation of the law.
Which you say in your statement could potentially be intentional here, the usurp laws.
Well, I mean, I think this is a usurp law in and of itself was born in Reconstruction and has not been exercised since Reconstruction. You can't say that someone is usurping when they are following the state constitution, and that's all that city leaders did here. The fact that they are trying to swipe the board of parish leadership and have the governor replace it is quite telling and quite concerning.
Which is interesting, and the Attorney General talks about that in her letter to you, saying that the application of the law is such that because the city went in and essentially removed Chelsea Richards Napoleon from her post and put in Judge Johnson, that the law works that you essentially forfeit your position there, so in turn the governor can come and remove you. Have you talked to anybody from the Attorney General's office since this letter came out?
I have not. I don't think they're interested in talking. There's a lot of street theater, a lot of performative acts. I don't know if this is going to get somebody on Fox and Friends, but this is not the way that government is supposed to work. Whether you're Republican, whether you're Democrat, whether you're black, whether you're white, you want government to work for you. And right now, government's not working for anybody. I'm getting calls from all across the state about this.
All of this, of course, Act 15 is what started all of this, and the Attorney General saying that Act 15 did not create a vacancy in the clerk's position, that what it did was, with Chelsea Richard Napoleon already there as clerk of court, putting more responsibility onto her. The other argument, though, is in doing so, you're creating a new position, and that's where you say that there is that difference in legal interpretation.
Well, think about it. The voters of New Orleans have never voted for Chelsea Richards Napoleon to handle their elections. That was handled by the criminal clerk's office. They have never voted for her to handle the criminal clerk docket. We've now, what the legislature has done, Senator Morris has done, is created a wholly new position that the people of New Orleans have never voted on. And the city council followed the Constitution to create a process for that. Something else that's happening here, though, the man that they're threatening to put in jail, Calvin Johnson, has spent his life serving the people of this community. The state Supreme Court just appointed him to handle Section J's docket after Darrell Durbin stepped down. This is a man above reproach. People from all over the state have been calling about this threat, this public threat to arrest a man who was retired, enjoying his retirement, who stepped up to help this community.
I do want to ask you on the other side of this, I mean, you've got a galvanization among those at City Hall who are speaking out against the Attorney General, even if they disagreed with the move to appoint Judge Johnson. So I guess with that, what happens next here? But also you've got the argument that potentially creating or appointing Judge Johnson played right into the hand of the governor and the Attorney General. To that you say?
No, look, the city council had exactly 20 days to act based upon the Constitution. If they did not follow the Constitution, they would be derelict in their responsibility to the people of the city of New Orleans. They work for the people of New Orleans, and they are protecting their rights. this move to increase voter disenfranchisement, to not accept the will of the people that is happening across America and happening in the state, if someone does not stand up for people's rights, then we will lose them.
I'm getting a hard rap right now, but as district attorney, what's next for you in this situation?
Well, I've got a trial next week that I'm working on, and it's pretty frustrating to have to get pulled away from the work of the people in court to have to defend against threats from the chief law enforcement person in the state. Deeply frustrating.
All right, District Attorney Jason Williams, we do appreciate you coming in this morning. Much more conversation on this coming up at 7 and throughout the day. Time now 6:52. We're back after this.